Now then, let's get started, shall we?
Let's get started.
Woo! Hi, everyone! Welcome to The Thing. I am here, and also so is everyone else. Wonderful, yes. For those of you who don't know, my name is Cosmo Bergamot. I am the Dean of the School of Conjuration here at the Temevelt Royal Academy for the Metaphysical Arts, and I am joined today with 4 of my excellent colleagues to play some tabletop role-playing games. Yeah. Wonderful and good for all of that. As a disclaimer, I had some oral surgery done a couple days ago. Thank you for the follow, Golden Tiger. But yeah, I had some oral surgery done recently. So if my S sounds start to sound a little bit off, it's because of that. Thank you for your understanding. Let us begin with our introductions of cast, starting with Ms. Aoi. Ms. Aoi, who are you and what do you do?
Wait, my brain froze for a second, and I thought you asked me where I am.
Ms. Aoi, what's your home address and your social security number?
Okay, hi everyone, I'm Aoi. I'm a penguin VTuber. I do mostly music and I also talk a lot. And I'm very confused all the time and I do not know why I'm here, but it's all good. It's gonna be fun, I'm sure.
It's a good place to be, I suppose. Excellent. Yeah, excellent. Wonderful then. Go over on then to Lulz time. Mr. Lulz, do the thing.
Hi there, I'm Lulz Time. Today I'm presenting as Spooky Lulz. I'm a cyberpunk shitposter AI VTuber. I mostly stream fighting games, indie games, and first-person shooters, but I also do a lot of tabletop on the side, especially on the weekends.
And always glad to be able to mix your weekend TTRPG with mine. Go on over now to Crossplaner Cleric. Who are you and what do you do?
Um, Hi, I'm Cross-Planar Cleric, or Cross for short, or I've also been known to go by Planar or Cleric. Um, but yeah, I mostly collaborate on tabletop RPGs. That said, I intend to become a variety streamer.
Pog.
Oh ho, a great piece of information, which is exceptionally useful to have and good to finally hear, Cross.
I'm being bullied.
We have collectively been bullying Cross into actually starting streaming for 1 billion years now. And our newest member on the roster and a new member to the classroom, Starry Soul. Hey Soul, who are you and what do you do?
Hi, my name's Starry Soul. I'm a spirit dreams who does variety games. Mainly Souls-like games. I do a lot of karaoke too, because I love to sing. That's me.
I'm happy to have you around. It makes sense that you would do Souls-like games, given your name. I'm sure
Fair
I
point.
am the first person who has ever made this joke.
And also, it makes sense that I brought him in, right?
Oh yeah,
Makes
no,
so
the
much
two of you being music VTubers makes complete sense. It is on Ms. Aoi's recommendation that Soul found himself here. So I'm glad to have everybody.
I'm glad to be
With
here. Alright.
with all of that in mind, we're gonna play some tabletop role-playing game today called Face Your Fears, which is based off of the Magnus Archives podcast from Westy Quill, and it was created by the absolutely wonderful Haley Hogan. I think Haley might actually drop in and say hello. So if you are here, Comrade Hogan, hello, thank you for making this game. It is based off of the Caltrop core mechanics by Titanomachy, and it's a relatively simple game. Anyone who does not know it will pick it up extremely quickly, just by context. How many of you are familiar with the Magnus Archives already to any extent?
I am.
I mean, you know my experience. I have no more experience than what you know of.
Meh.
I have never heard of the Magnus Archives period before when you announced
Really?
this. Yes.
Yeah, that was
Yes, really.
that was a whiplash when I heard it, because I was like, you who are like the creative writer type who does like fear stuff and all sort of like traumatizing your characters, have never heard of the Magnus Archives?
Well, it's kind of like the same way people were surprised that I never heard of Night Raven or the many other apparently horror podcasts that used to be popular in Tumblr, etc. during the time period I was active. I missed
Yeah,
out on a lot of stuff.
honestly, there's a lot to keep track of at any given time, right?
Not Night Raven, Night Vale, my bad. Welcome to Night Vale.
Ah,
But yeah.
Night Vale. Probably my favorite, like, weird indie song I've ever heard was a weather report from, like, the first or second episode of that show. Anyway, well, this is a horror game, so be prepared. Oh my gosh, Haley Ann is actually in the chat. Hello, Haley Ann. Is there a mod in chat that can give Comrade Haley a shout out? Let me see if I can
yes,
do that.
one moment.
There we go. Excellent.
Hey, there we go.
Thank you so
I
much.
was the quickest.
Excellent. For everyone, this is Haley. They are the person who created the game. Thank you for dropping by and saying hello. I hope to live up to your expectations. With that in mind, shall we get ourselves started? Does everyone have their necessary snacks and drinks and such?
Mhm.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not
Mhm.
sure I'm prepared mentally and my kokoro, you know. But yeah, sure. I'm still wondering why I'm here and why I chose to participate in this one. But hey, why not? I guess.
Amazing. All right then, let's begin.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Teme Velt presents Face Your Fears, a Caltrop core game by Haley Logan. Episode 1, The Stormbringer. Statement of Alice Meadows regarding her encounter with Andrew McCarney and the phenomenon known as the Stormbringer. Original statement given January 23rd, 2019. Sorry, January 23rd, 2016. Audio recording by Jonathan Sims, head archivist of the Magnus Institute, London. Statement begins. I first met Andrew McCarney in the autumn of 2016. He was a quiet man, nondescript in appearance, but he had an unsettling air about him. We worked in the same building near the Magnus Institute, and though we rarely spoke, I couldn't shake the feeling that there was something off about him. It was a dreary November evening when it happened. The fog rolled in suddenly, thick, suffocating, swallowing the streets around the Institute. I remember looking out of the window and seeing Andrew standing there just outside the building, staring up at the sky. His eyes seemed to glow faintly in the dim light, a sickly blue that pulsed in rhythm with the distant flashes of lightning. I went outside to see if he was all right, and as I approached, The fog seemed to twist and writhe around him, and I felt a disorienting pull, like the ground itself was shifting beneath my feet. Andrew turned to face me, and I could see his form was different. No longer entirely like a human. His features were blurred, constantly changing, as if he was both there and not there at the same time. He spoke to me, his voice like the crackle of distant thunder, telling me that he was the Stormbringer. He said that the fog was his gift, a way to show us the true nature of the world, unbound and limitless. He reached out a hand, and I felt an electric jolt course through me, filling my mind with images of endless, twisting clouds and skies that stretched into infinity. I stumbled back, losing my sense of direction entirely. The streets around me became labyrinthine, and no matter which way I turned, I couldn't find my way back. Andrew's laughter echoed through the fog, a sound that still haunts my dreams. I eventually found myself at the steps of the Institute, though I don't remember how I got there. The fog receded as quickly as it had appeared the second I touched the doorknobs, and Andrew was gone. But I know he's still out there, waiting to envelop us all in his storm. Statement ends. There isn't much to tell about this Andrew McCarney fellow. He was something like a clerical assistant at one of the law firms nearby. Of course, Alice Meadows is very difficult to find outside of her grave. She died shortly after giving her statement, it seems. Martin was easily able to find her records of death. They found her in a park, as though she'd been wandering in it for days. The official cause of death is dehydration, but how does one dehydrate in a park in central London? And how does one last so long without their body being found? Curious. In any case, we will have a couple more instances of research coming in soon. After all, well, we can't really have Sasha do it anymore, can we? Recording ends. Click. The tape recorder comes to a dead silence. The four of you find yourselves in one of the archival offices of the Magnus Institute in London. Luna, you are here on what could be considered research. You had found a bit of extra information. Pieces that are not... they don't fully make sense for everyone. But you were told that this is the place to go when you've got something strange to tell to somebody. And you've been here once or twice before, wants to give a statement, wants to make use of some of the public records. Your YouTube channel has been flourishing of late, and every time you mention the Magnus Institute, you keep getting comments about how either they are all sort of quacks, ghost hunters of the lowest sort of tier, or maybe they're onto something. Nevertheless, they have an extensive set of public records, and that's helped with making a few of your videos in the past. Aster, you are also here for research. You know Luna's YouTube channel. You've seen some things on it here and there. But Luna's work is a little different from yours. You are more of the detective sort to Luna's ghost chasers sort. Luna and Aster, have you two ever worked together on a case before?
I would say probably, yeah.
Probably, yeah.
You are familiar with each other, enough to know each of each other's strengths and weaknesses. Though you may never want to say directly, this is your weakness, this is your strength. After all, technically, you are competitors. Officer Joseph Quick, you find yourself at the Institute today because of an assignment that you were given. There have been disappearances all over town, largely centered around the area where the Institute is. Reports of people getting lost, thick, heavy, unseasonable mist, strange figures appearing in this mist, and a sort of growing sense of unease and misjudgment of how far things are. The disappearances are what got the police involved, but you know why you were brought here. After all, they don't send sectioned folk out for no reason. And Alexander Poe, you work here. It's your job to be here. And in the absence of the archivist, who is still in the hospital after some strange happenings involving a wax museum, a few missing people, and rumor has it, a whole lot of plastic explosives. It's sort of been your job to take the statements of those who come in off the street. Martin's currently unavailable for various reasons.
Of course he is.
He's got things to do, you know? Rumor has it that he spends a lot of time at the hospital. Why would he need to do that? Anyway, when the four of you gathered, almost out of happenstance, the tape recorder had turned on by itself. And that statement played. It must have been one that Jonathan, Archivist Sims, had made a while back. Because, well, Alexander, you don't recognize it. And in the lack of other capable staff, you've been the one that's had to do some of the sort of outgoing and incoming research. And you don't recognize this one. The date has it recorded, or not recorded, but rather given about a year ago. And the recording has to have been recent. It's strange, though, because there's a lot of really heavy fog outside. It's unseasonable. It's warm enough that the morning fog should have burned off by now, but here we are at 2 o'clock in the afternoon on a sort of humid, relatively warm August. And there's still that thick, unseemly dark fog. Ms. Luna and Aster, what are the two of you working on? What kind of case brought a YouTube personality and a professional investigator together? Was it ghosts? Was it reports of a statue bleeding from its eyes? Surely you've been through quite a few different types of cases. What would cause the two of you to work together this time?
It's not a statue, because I wouldn't need help for a statue, you know? I'm just that good.
So missing
But-
person's case, I would be able to solve it myself too. Hmm.
But I heard about this, like, very, I don't know, it's like a weird type of ghost, and I couldn't just go by myself because the information was so unclear, and I couldn't access all the testimony and stuff, so I had to call on Aster.
Excellent. It seems that the two of you are working together, let's say reluctantly. Does that sound about accurate?
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah, I mean,
Wonderful.
I don't need someone as uncool as them on my videos, you know.
And I'd like to think I'm pretty good by myself. I think I've got the skills to handle most cases without a YouTuber.
Yikes. Nevertheless, the two of you find yourselves strange bedfellows. Officer Quick, this isn't the first time you've been to the Institute by any stretch of the imagination. After all, your two colleagues will often find themselves coming here for various reasons. But, well, Basira is difficult to talk to, and Daisy's just got the kind of face that you don't really feel comfortable looking at. Like she's ready to bite your arms off at any given point. Why were you at the archives the last time?
Oh man, I have the strangest sense of deja vu, and I am not having a great day. Somehow, being here today manages to be worse than the last time. Last time I was here, I was on the case of something sounds like it came straight out of the Jurassic Park franchise, and now it appears I've walked straight into the Silent Hill franchise. And glorious. Just glorious. No pretty girls here, though.
Well, I'm sure there might be one or two somewhere in perhaps artifact storage. You might find someone who looks vaguely familiar.
I also think Melanie would bite your hand off.
This is entirely true. Alexander, you've had a lot of work to do recently. I mean, what with the head archivist gone, Martin's been having to read things, and Melanie and Basira and Daisy, and it's it's difficult to get a hang on how each person does it differently. You like things to be in order, and so getting everyone to be something close to a single format for their recordings and their research has been barking up a very tall tree. What kind of case were you most recently investigating?
There was a recording of uh of a person who after reading a strange book ended up with the compulsion to dig as much as possible.
No, that tracks. That sort of thing is not uncommon. Jürgen Leitner.
Ugh.
Stupid, dirt-eating, avatar of the loser, Jürgen Leitner. That bit of research did bring you to artifact storage, though, where you have recently found that there are several new items in the registry. You haven't had a chance to go and look through each of them yet. Obviously, you don't work in artifact storage directly, but you find yourself down there once in a while. Strange that a whole bunch of new ones have all come in at once. You'll have to ask Elias about it at some point.
I mean, isn't he in jail?
Well, yes, but he's not difficult to get a hold of. Everyone knows where he is. Nevertheless, it's not by accident that the four of you are in the same place when that statement just played. It started playing from the drawer of the desk, a drawer that was otherwise empty. In fact, the whole desk was mostly empty. There was just a dusty old tape recorder. As the four of you contemplate this, there is a sudden, loud alarm sound that pierces through the relative silence of the archives. Now, Aster, Joseph, and Luna, it sounds like a big klaxon, you know, the real kind of thing. It doesn't sound like it's a fire alarm or, you know, like an evacuation type thing. It's peculiar. You almost get a feeling from this alarm that gives you a kind of sense of weirdly deja vu styled unease about everything. Alexander, you've heard this specific alarm a couple times since the archivist went to hospital. The last time, it was the flesh. The archives are currently under attack, it seems. All of the lights shut off immediately and light back up in a deep red color. All of the windows to the outside, sort of heavy metal shutters, begin to rapidly descend, sealing them to the outside. Things are just starting to get a little high tension. The alarm dies for a moment. Attention all archive personnel. This is not a drill. Please retreat to your safe places barricade any doors, and do not leave your safe places until the all clear has been given. And that message repeats a few times. There's fog seeping in from under doors, through cracks in the shutters over the windows. And there is a feeling of static electricity that begins to creep over your bodies. So, friends, trapped in the archives as you are, what would the four of you like to do?
May I go first, or someone else can go first if you like?
Officer Quick, what have you got?
The first thing Officer Quick's gonna do upon seeing this is try to stuff the undersides of the doors with papers, but since this is when they realize this is fruitless, the next thing they do is to unholster their sidearm.
You do keep a well-maintained sidearm. It's a hobby of yours, let's call it. What kind of gun have you got?
A Colt 1911.
An excellent choice, one with a significant amount of stopping power. Those with your experience and your background are often issued things that hit slightly harder. After all, who knows what you might need to take down at any point. Officer Quick's gun leaps to his hand. Alexander, Aster, Luna, what about you three?
Are there gas masks in here?
There might be. Would you like to maybe make an investigation kind of roll for me, please?
Sure.
In the Caltrop Core system, most things are taken care of with a D4 roll, where 1 is an absolute failure, 4 is an absolute success, and 2 and 3 are partials in the middle. So, excellent. We love a natural 1 on it. Alexander, you think gas must mean we need some gas masks. We have been prepared for many things recently, and you reach over to a cabinet on the wall and pop it open. And as you do, fog just billows in through it. You have opened a cabinet into a ventilation system.
Oh no.
Oh god.
Close it back, close it back.
You slam it shut, and the fog that is still inside begins to rapidly pour out of the like 3 horizontal locker vents on the front of it. But quite a lot more is in this room now.
Well, that can be good.
Well, I
Just
grab
find
my
ho-
camera. That's the first thing I do. I grab my camera and I just like film around and film on my face and be like, oh, something's happening. Are you seeing this too? Okay, we're gonna investigate now. Let's see what's causing this. Well, I'm just a little scared, but you know, it's gonna be fine. I know. We all strong people here, right? Okay, let's keep
Totally.
going. And then I just turn my camera to the fog, and I try to get like a regular mask, you know, like those black masks we wear for fun. No, not for fun, but like just to hide your mouth, you know. And I try to
very
put
good.
this on my face,
Mhm.
and I put this on my face from my bag, and then I'm just like trying to look around and see what's going on.
Excellent work. Luna, you have your camera whipped out, and it automatically turns on the backlight so that it can try to pick up more in the lens on the back. The light sweeps over this fog, and fog is normally a sort of like whitish gray color. but you note that this fog is an almost deep, like grayish, blackish blue almost. Alexander, Aster.
Is there any obvious exits? I'm assuming no.
From the the door that you came into is still open. There's also another door on the opposite wall. The door that you came into leads out into a sort of like little network of hallways that sort of snakes in between various little offices and like nooks and crannies of the archive. The door on the other side is closed.
I'm not sure what to do with this info. hmm. The message playing through the siren. They mentioned a safe space, right?
That's correct. It seems that there must be designated, like, safe zones or panic rooms somewhere.
And is there any like obvious one in this library right now that we're in? I assume also no.
Your current location is like a little boardroom office type thing. It's got like a desk and a few chairs. But leading out into that hallway, there is definitely a yellow line painted on the floor with like little arrows on it that you might assume would lead to something like that. Alexander, what about you?
If I, as an employee, I probably know where the safe spaces are. So with that in mind, I think I'd probably want to pick up the tape recorder and then gesture towards the others to follow me.
And I probably
You
would
do know
follow.
where the closest two of them are. There are 8 on this floor of the archive, and you are close to the northern one and the northeastern one.
Hmm. Uh, uh, sure, let's go to the northern one, I guess.
Yeah. Then
Is there a way to make this not an arbitrary decision?
as a group, would we like to go over it then?
Well, you would know that going to the one in the northern wing takes you past the main staircases and elevators. But going to the one in the northeast actually takes you through several other smaller interconnected rooms. One of them would be quicker to get to. One of them would leave you less visible to others, perhaps.
I see. Let's do the sneaky route then.
To the northeast you go, and that is through the opposite door that is closed. Alexander, you push the door open, and the room on the other side is dark. It is a sort of like a filing kind of room. It's got several of those large, like shelves that move back and forth when you spin the wheel in front of them. This is where they keep a whole lot of like public historical records related to specific cases and things. You've spent some time in here before. Going through here, it's a kind of long, narrow room. And it's dark. Where the lights in your little office from before were red, to indicate danger perhaps, there are none in this room at all.
I look at Luna's camera that has the backlight.
Luna, do you want to take point on it, or?
Yeah. Let's point. Let's look everywhere. I mean, I need to do that for the viewers and stuff. So let's go.
Luna, you, with the source of light, step forward into this room, and the first thing you notice is that on the camera, while it might be dark and you're picking out the outlines of the edges of shelves and that kind of business, on the camera and only on the camera, there is a sudden flickering in bright, like, whites and greens for just a moment further down in the long room. And then a second later, on the camera, it shows it's closer. And then there's another flicker, and it's closer.
Okay, I'm running out. I do not want to stay here.
Does anyone else notice this, or only Luna?
Luna is the one that has the camera in her hand, and as a result of it, the small screen probably does not have a whole lot of visibility for everyone else. But everyone else notices the sound. Like fingernails being dragged along paper, like rapidly. The kind of sound you like.
Oh my god. That's
And
actually
it approaches. It is coming very quickly.
right.
I'm just going on the
Absolutely
opposite direction. Okay, I'm going opposite direction. I'm sorry you don't have light. I do not care. I'm just like, okay, that's a little scary. So let's go back to somewhere safer and then check what's going on. Okay. Let's see. I mean, it's recorded on the camera, so you will see it on the video. So let me know if you see anything that I haven't. But I think we should move on. And I just go out. I mean, other direction, not out. Like I
The
walk
other way. Luna scoots
other
past
way.
very quickly. Alex, Aster, and Joseph, Luna saw something in there, and you guys all heard that noise. What would you like to do? Who have we
I am-
lost?
Who have
Cross.
wait.
Oh no, Cross.
No, Cross died. Oh,
Oh.
Cross is
Cross
back.
was
is
eaten
back.
by the dark. Oh no, there you are. Welcome back.
Over my dead body that they are being eaten by the dark.
Excellent.
Joseph is not if Joseph, who's already partly spooked because they got old horror video games on the mind. The first thing they're going to do is probably grab whoever is in front of them by the shoulder in an effort to pull them out of the room.
Yeah, that would probably be Alex, who had gone in initially. Alexander, the officer, grabs you by the shoulder and yanks you backwards. And just as he does so, you feel a faint brush on just the tip of your chin. And it feels like... It feels like what using chalk on a chalkboard sounds like.
God.
Ugh.
Wow.
Nope, absolutely not.
What a description.
And when it touches you, you see it. An almost humanoid shape made of rapidly blinking light, like a million camera flashes all at the same time. It flickers in and out for a brief second before it's gone again. But your eyes have seen it, and it is a stun. Like you've been hit with a flashbang. You stumble backwards, lose your balance just a little bit as the officer pulls you back out of the room. And that sound begins again. Aster, what are you up to?
Do I witness this happen from because I'm assuming I'm still in the previous room or
You're
on
still
my
in the
way
main
there.
room, yeah. You see, so here's the sequence of events. Alex opens the door. It's dark. Luna goes in with the camera with the light. Luna turns back and books it back out. The officer grabs Alex by the shoulder and pulls back. Alex suddenly reels back and eyes wide and stumbles, and that sound keeps coming. What would you like to do?
There was another way we can go besides this path, right?
Back out into the hallway.
In which case, I might go to the hallway and just see what's over there instead.
You turn and make your way back to the door leading out into the hallway, which is partially ajar. Pushing it open, you can see the fog, thick and dark, like storm clouds, billowing down one of the directions towards you. That's the direction of the main entrance to the archives. The direction that you want to go, the one where that yellow line seems to be indicating, is, as of yet, dark cloud free.
Wait. So
Dark clouds toward the main entrance, but the direction toward what might be a safe room is clear.
In which case, I will slowly make my way over there. We aren't trying to be cautious or whatever might be nearby.
Aster steps out into the hallway. Luna, you stumble out nearly directly behind. Alex and Officer Quick, what about you two?
Following. Absolutely. Reeling a little bit because ow, but like also trying to get up, following.
And Officer Quick?
Officer Quick is going to be following behind. They are a little perturbed by the developments. They're also, if I'm not sure if anyone mentioned this already or not, but they're probably also going to shut the door on that area where the camera-based horror is coming from.
I'm glad someone did it.
Yeah, no, also, like, if the, you said that it touched me. If it's in this room instead of the dark room, I want to kick it back.
It doesn't seem like whatever it was has followed you into the room with the light.
Yeah, that tracks.
That tracks. But yeah, Joseph is going to push everyone forward, and they're going to keep up the rear guard to see if the camera thing follows in the wake.
As the four of you, well, you know, you're not Section 13 for no reason. Section 31. So, as the four of you file out into the hallway, and you see the billowing dark cloud beginning to fill the hall leading down towards the entrance of the whole institute, you make your way down the opposite direction. Now, Alexander, you know when you look at a camera flash and you can see like the outline of the source of light for a little while even after it's gone? Because it's like burned into your retina temporarily?
Mm-hmm.
The shape that you see is vaguely humanoid and reaching out toward you every time you blink.
My God.
I keep my eyes open as much as possible.
Carefully, and with no small amount of speed, but also with enough care to not bumble into whatever might be there, the four of you travel down the hallway. There are doors on either side, some leading into little storage areas, some leading into like a lounge. This door leads to the employee kitchen, where Martin has 2 electric kettles now.
Yes!
Awesome.
Nice.
And when you reach the end of the yellow line, it turns sharply into a reinforced metal door to your left. Alex, you know that this is one of the panic rooms. It is stocked on the inside with fire extinguishers, even though you haven't really needed those for a while. Food for a while, like a decent amount of, rations and that kind of thing. Some first aid equipment, several heavy flashlights, and crucially, a fire axe.
Huh. That's u-
Of course.
of course. The daily necessities.
It sounds like we'll need to ask TDM a question.
I mean, it's remarkably easy to buy an axe in central London.
Amazing. Very good. The four of you file inside, and the door swings almost silently shut behind you. These new additions to the archives are very much new renovations, new additions. This room, you would guess, probably used to be like a climate-controlled storage area for like older files and that kind of business. But now it's a climate-controlled person storage area. There is a heavy twist lock on the door as well, and a small circular window with a cover that can be put over it.
That's not spooky at all. That's not
I
totally
look out the
asking us
When you look out the window, the red light from your room sort of pouring out of the little circle, which is only maybe 6 inches wide or so, you get a somewhat restricted view of the hallway that you were just in. And it's the hallway that you know. You've walked down it plenty of times. What doesn't belong there are the figures. Because as the fog begins to roll past this door, you see people. Maybe. Are they people? They're twisted, elongated almost, in strange, sort of expanding ways. A neck far too long here, eyes that have drifted off the sides of the head there, hands that are far too big. Their faces are obscure, swirling almost, and their movements are erratic and unpredictable. They've got tattered clothing almost that seems to dissolve in the edges into the mist. And their eyes glow with a pale blue light. You are temporarily safe on the second floor of the archives. You've got food and water, and hopefully nothing can get through this door. Now seems like a good time for us to take our first 5-minute break. You found yourselves a little bit of respite for the moment. We will come back in 5 minutes, everyone who is in the classroom watching. This is a good time to go to the bathroom, get snacks, get drinks, take medicine if that's a thing that you need to do and have not yet done today. Take care of yourselves for the next 5 minutes. We will return. Now then, let's get back to it, shall we? We return. Successful. Hopefully. None of you have died yet, correct?
I checked
Unless
out,
you're
I think
talking
so.
about my soul, but
I've been
Shame.
alive for as long as I've been.
I too have returned.
Physically.
Well, I'll have to try a little harder then, won't I?
Oh, no.
Wow.
I'm not sure you have to.
Thanks,
Welcome
Andrew.
back to everyone else in the classroom. I hope that everyone was able to take care of themselves during their break properly and everything. How is everyone feeling so far?
I'm having the time of my life.
I'm really enjoying it.
I'm
I'm,
having a good time.
I'm happy to hear it. And Ms. Aoi, you who are the least acquainted with horror and things, how are things doing for you?
I don't know.
Are you
Don't
okay?
ask me. I think I'm okay. Maybe, probably. Who knows? I don't.
And that's the first step to traumatizing your players, everybody.
Clap, 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 clap.
Taking notes.
Don't
Now
take
then.
notes. Erase the notes. Erase notes. Erase.
No notes, please.
Does that
So-
include the notes I'm taking?
Oh no, you may do with them whatever you would like. I will not disagree with them at all. Shall we get back into it?
Hmm.
Sure.
Following you.
Why not? What's stopping us?
Just how resigned Ms. Aoi is over here like, no, let's go back into it. Why don't you scare me to death, please? I love it.
I love not being able to sleep at night. Then I can do more stuff, right?
Yeah, you don't need to sleep.
Sleep is
Speaking
overrated.
Speaking of needing to sleep, which I guess is kind of apropos of nothing, the four of you find yourself standing inside the supposedly safe room. The fog,
my
of
God.
course, is billowing outside, but it does not seem to be seeping under the door or through any of the air ducts. In fact, you think that there's probably like a negative pressure system in here, specifically to keep out any kinds of gases. Inside, like I mentioned, there are several high-powered flashlights, food, water, first aid kits, and a fire axe.
A what now?
A fire axe, like a large fireman's axe.
Wait, is it an axe with fire on it?
It is an axe that firefighters might use to, like, break down doors to rescue people.
I am gonna look for it. Fire axe. Okay. I see.
Yeah. What would the four of you like to do?
Joseph is gonna immediately pick up a flashlight and check to see if it's working.
When you flick it on, there are two settings. Oh, and Cross is gone again. Goodbye, Cross. Cross has been eaten by the fog. There are two settings.
No.
We've lost the comic relief, everybody. Oh wait, they're back.
Oh, it's me that's dropping. Okay.
It is, in fact, you that is dropping. Apparently, you're also the comic relief. Anyway,
Okay.
there are two settings. There is a low light setting that is kind of like a wide floodlight, and then there is a high beam setting that focuses all the light down to one small point, and it is fully charged.
Pog.
There are enough of those in here for each of you and a couple more.
Mhm.
How many are we allowed to take each?
How many can you hold?
Can we assume that I still have my utility belt, or more or less the the
Police belt, your police
police
stuff.
belt.
Yeah, it would make less sense if you didn't have it. You were sent here, of course, to investigate a case. Of course, you'll have your police stuff.
Okay, In that case, I would like to shove 2 in my belt. DM allowing.
Yeah, easily done.
Pog.
Uh,
Go on.
oh, I was just going to say that I would like to take one and put it in my pocket.
It is a maglite style sort of long boy, maybe a foot long or so, like 30 centimeters long. Difficult to put in a pocket, but you can certainly do your best. There
enough.
is silence. The alarm has stopped. The warning message has stopped. The only sound you can really hear is the low frequency buzz of the red emergency lights inside of your safe room. But you feel static electricity in the air. And there is it's like an intuitive feeling. Something that when someone stands behind you and you can just kind of feel it. It's not associated with a real sense or anything. But something is nearby. Aster, while you are looking at the fire axe, you've gone over to it to inspect it, like you mentioned, you hear a whisper. It's sharp. Great for cutting. Do you
Aster,
like cutting? You can cut and cut and cut.
Aster would immediately turn around and look around the room to see if he can find a source for the voice.
Looking at the axe, Aster suddenly whirls around, their eyes wide. Officer Quick, Luna, Alexander, what are you two doing? Or 3 doing? I can count.
Someone first, and then I'll go afterwards.
I mean, I feel like while people were investigating other things, I would have liked to check on the rations, especially the water, considering the statement talked about dehydration. And we can feel the static electricity, and I don't want that to happen to us.
Oh, for sure. So there's like a couple racks of like ration boxes, and one entire shelf, like 3 shelves high, is just filled with these kind of foil pack water rations. And you can sort of like when you pick one up, it's got the heft of water. You can shake it around and feel it sloshing around inside. There's a label on the front that says drinkable water. Expiration date October 1641.
Oh,
No, sorry, that was not correct. Obviously, it wasn't correct at all. When you blink, it's October 2030. No, that makes more sense. It's poison.
oh no.
Poison is so good for killing. Slow and difficult.
Joseph Quick is probably going to notice Aster rolling about first. Before let me rephrase that. Notice Aster rolling about before noticing Alexander, noticing the water. So they're going to have holstered their firearm by this point, but they're going to immediately like bring their hand to it, while also looking towards Aster and asking, "Is something wrong? What did you see?"
It wasn't what I saw with the axe. It was. I heard someone whisper to me. I thought
Mm.
it might have been you guys, but. Well,
Wait, so does he mention, or does Aster mention the axe?
I mean, everyone can see the axe.
I mean.
No, I mean,
Hmm?
or did Aster like just mention the axe, or did they just? I, I kind of missed part of the dialogue there. Sorry.
Oh, wait, so,
Um,
do you want me to repeat?
Redo dialogue, please.
sure. Sorry.
Scroll up replay.
It wasn't. It wasn't. The axe is fine. I heard a whisper in my ear. I thought it was you guys, so I turned around, but because it's not you. It's not any of you.
The axe, Joseph responds, and they look towards the axe, and they look back at Aster, and they look towards the axe, and then back at Aster, and their hand is definitely on top of their gun now, but they don't pull it out. I didn't hear anyone whispering anything. Did you, Alex?
Some of the artifacts here can really just play with your mind a little. Rubbing the bridge of his nose.
All right. Maybe I was just. Maybe I'm just a bit panicky because of the situation. Maybe I was just hearing things.
Don't get me wrong, you probably weren't just hearing things, but
I think
he
at this
shakes his head.
point, I think at this point, Aster would have picked up the axe just for safety, possibly.
Oh man.
It is a sturdy wooden-handled axe, lacquered and shiny, painted red at the bottom. And the blade
So-
itself is a heavy, sharp, shiny red with a sort of metallic edge at the cutting point. Holding it makes you feel a little bit more secure, let's say.
Oh no.
um.
This is a good axe.
I sure
Luna.
hope it is.
While all this is happening, are you still rolling your camera?
Oh yeah, definitely. I am not stopping it. I'm just like I was looking at small stuff and then I saw they were starting to like I don't know. I was looking at Aster and he was kind of like stopping and I was like, maybe something's happening. And I just like put my camera on him and just like watching what's going on through the screen.
Luna, is your camera like a pretty nice, expensive camera, or is it like a phone camera?
Wait, what year are we again?
I mentioned the wrong one during our debrief at the beginning. We are in 2016.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, I have
Okay.
my camera's it's I mean it's not a professional one, but it's a pretty good one for what you can get as someone with not a lot of money, but still enough to put into it. So it's a pretty nice camera, I would say.
I mean, it is the thing that lets you do your job. Can't be a
Exactly.
YouTuber without a good camera. And especially since you are a paranormal investigator, you must have picked up one that has a couple extra settings on it. One like thermographic. You've got a UV setting on your camera that can pick up heat.
Mm-hmm.
And in the rush to get inside the room, your thumb must have brushed against it. As you look down through the little screen, you see that it's a little bit cooler in here. Maybe a little bit more than a little bit. It's starting to get cold. And the cold seems to be coming from the edges of that nice big metal sealed door.
Oh man.
Luna, would you kindly roll a d4 to see what kind of stuff elsewise you can notice for us?
Sure. Wait, what is it again? 1d4?
It's, yeah, /R, 1d4. Hey.
Woo!
Pog.
3 is a partial success. You get what you want,
Yeah.
but things get complicated.
No.
The other fortunate thing that you notice is that while there seems to only be one door exit out of this room, and it's the one you came through, the thermal camera also picks up a slight difference in temperature in a sort of square shape underneath the sort of like thin utilitarian rug on the ground. But it's getting cold. And you hear a whisper. They can be left behind.
Oh,
They will die. Slow and cold. Maybe you should watch. Maybe you should show everyone. Meanwhile, hey, let's see. Alex, what have you got for us?
what do I have for you?
What's going on now? Now that you've sort of looked at the water, you've made sure that it's good. You had a hallucination or two.
Oh, you know, average day in the archives. Um, but I think I'm just kind of looking at Aster with the axe and just looking a little warily at that because we don't exactly need an axe right now. Please stop holding it like that. um, but also, I assume that the the coldness only being noticed by Luna?
Oh no, as you are breathing, you see your breath. You're not supposed to be able to see your breath. It's August. But now you've noticed, it's getting cold.
Yeah. Can I check on that pressure system that you mentioned that keeps gases out?
There is, in fact, a control panel for it near the door. It is essentially like a fan system that continually pushes air outwards from the room in such a manner as to not let things like gases or mist or any sort of creepy thing like that into the ventilation system. There is a switch for on and off, and there is a switch for high power and low power. It's currently on low power.
I put it to high power.
You flick the switch, and that very vague hum of the red lights is quickly overtaken by the sound of the fans running just a little higher. You want to roll a d4 for me real quick, please? Just to see
sure.
what kind of stuff might be happening.
Woo!
Ah, excellent. When you flick that switch, through that little portcullis in the door, you suddenly see one of those distorted, wispy faces slam up against it, soundlessly. Maybe they don't have the kind of form that would make sound. And the eyes glow. And you see a distorted, twisted hand slam up against the glass as well. And it looks like it's trying to push through. But you know that Elias has some pretty exacting standards for these panic rooms. Many of them have got supernatural wards placed on them. It seems that for the moment, the supernatural ward against ghosts is holding.
Wonderful. Great.
Luna, what are you doing?
I yeah, I'm just looking at everyone and be like, I hope they're not leaving now. I'm not living on my own alone. That's not happening. I'm just like looking at them and making sure they're all of them are always in my in my eyesight if I can.
Aww.
Would you kindly roll a d4 and then roll another d4 for your fear die?
Oh my gosh.
The first, excellent, and the
Oh my
second.
Rip.
Oh.
So,
Oh.
Luna,
No.
you sort of back yourself up against a wall so that you've got the widest field of vision possible, so that you can keep track of all three of your companions. And you are generally able to do it. You can see both of those companions. In fact, it's comforting almost to know that the one other person who is with you, you can still see.
No.
You
What?
rolled a 2 on your fear die. And this is your main fear.
Oh my god.
The
No.
experience
Alex.
is a hard one and will be difficult to shake. The next time you encounter this fear, whatever die you roll will be rolled at -1.
Oh my god.
No.
You shut your eyes for a moment and shake your head, and when you open them, of course, you are in the safe room. Alone. No, that's not true. That can't be true. You came in with 3 other people. You are certain of it. And when you close your eyes and open them once again, they are there. Are they?
Alright.
They must be. You can see all 3 of them now. But as you kind of stumble a little bit, your shoe clunks down on something hollow. That rectangle that your camera picked up under the rug. And the other 3 of you hear this clunk.
I see.
Hey, Officer Quick. There's a lot going on in here, and it is rapidly getting very cold. You can see your breath. You can feel the cold begin to nip at your fingertips. What are you doing?
Well, I don't know much about the this supernatural gobbledygook, but I do recognize a gosh darn refrigerator when I am literally trapped in one with the other people who I'm supposed to be protecting. So, I've been trying to keep calm, to look around this here parts for an escape plan, hence picking up the 2 flashlights. And those troubles are not helped by the young man over yonder who picked up an axe and is kind of mumbling stuff out of breath. That's when I hear the noise, which thankfully breaks the tension of the YouTuber over there hitting something on the ground. And if this is anything like a video game, I'm reckon that there's gotta be a hidden trapdoor underneath that there rug. So I'm gonna pop on over there and pull, take the rug away from the area so I can see there's a trapdoor.
And there is, in fact, underneath the waterproof, like rubber-bottomed, thin utility rug, there's a trapdoor with a large metal ring inset into it. This makes sense. There are tunnels under the Institute. Alexander, you've heard about these before, and Officer Quick, you have also heard about them. After all, the last time a bunch of sectioned officers had to come to the Institute, they found a rather important dead body, or 2, downstairs. One of them was killed by brutal pipe murder, while the other had been there for a while.
Oh, hell no. I'm going to keep this to myself. It's either this or facing whatever it was that Alex saw outside them their portcullis, and something tells me we should probably take our chances.
When you reach down and loop your fingers into the metal ring and wrench upwards, it makes a... and a staircase leads down into a humid darkness.
Oh boy.
You want to leave the safe room for the tunnels?
This here safe room doesn't feel like it's gonna be much safer for much longer, unless you mean safe for preserving our innards. Alright, kids, come on, we gotta get down. We gotta get out of here.
Hmm.
It's just a little dark.
It's also incredibly easy to get lost down there. There's a lot of it's just gonna trap us more, don't you think?
Oh, I'm aware.
Huh?
They just kind of stop awkwardly when they say that, and they're like, "Yep, I'm aware."
What? I'm sorry. If you are aware, why do you want us to go down there?
Let's just say I am not a gambler, but I feel like we might want to take our chances in this here case.
Officer Quick, as you finish your sentence, you get a feeling like someone is standing behind you, and you hear a whisper. When you let them die, it will be your fault. And you will let them die.
No, I won't. They just suddenly say, like, really loudly for no reason.
What a strange thing for the officer to say. Aster, you watching the police officer talk, you see after they like right before this little outburst, a little bit of like a clouding over of his eyes for just a second. And maybe it's a trick of the light, but it's almost like he's got two shadows for a moment. One that belongs to him, and one that's just a little bit off, looming over his shoulder.
Shine a light on it.
Yeah, is it possible? I mean, I'm still carrying the axe, but is the axe heavy enough, like too heavy for me to like just run over to the flashlights I saw, take one of those, and try flashing onto Wick?
Oh no, it's a relative. It's like a 2 kilogram axe at most. It's good for opening doors. And so as this is happening, you suddenly reach over, grab one of the high-powered flashlights, and click it on, and the floodlight washes over everyone else in the room. And there is a hiss and a sizzle. Like a radio has been untuned and then pulled out of the wall.
Well,
That shadow is gone. But then you start hearing more whispers. These ones are coming from outside, on that portcullis on the door.
Well, that explains where my whispering was coming from. I do see more of them outside, and personally, I think our chances will be better. We'd be better off if we do try the tunnels. Clearly, the safe room is not that safe.
Luna, Alexander, what is your opinion?
I will follow wherever the most people go. That is what I'm gonna do.
All right. Then this leaves it to you, Alexander. What's the plan?
I mean, Alexander does not want to go into the tunnels. That said, he can't just let these three off randomly. We need to stick together. So this sucks.
The four of you descend down into the tunnels. When you finally reach the bottom of the staircase, the yellow sodium lights that dot the inside of the tunnel show the sort of wet floor and dilapidated nature of all of these subterranean webs of open space underneath the Institute. There has been some concerted efforts toward being able to navigate these tunnels, or at least that's what it looks like. There are several chalk lines and arrows and notes and things here and there on all of the walls. But the trapdoor slams shut behind you.
No.
Well.
From the top, it was easy to lift up, but it's like on a hydraulic system, and, well, pushing it from the bottom doesn't seem to work.
Push this harder.
You wanna
Yes.
roll to see whether you can push it open with strength?
Sure.
All right, let's
Uh-oh.
give us a roll.
Ayo?
A 3.
Mm.
That's not terrible. Would you roll your fear die as well?
Yeah.
Oh.
So, Alexander, you, having gone down into this narrow, cramped, dark tunnel, start to have second thoughts almost immediately. And you turn, and the door slams shut above you. You put your shoulders against it and heave upwards with every last bit of your strength to find that it is latched. And there's no way back up. Does it feel stuffy in here to you? A little bit too close? A little uncomfortable? A little claustrophobic? The next time you have to deal with this fear, you'll take a -1 to your die.
Sounds great.
At the very least, the tunnels themselves are a little more open. They stretch and split apart and wind inwards on themselves, some going up, some going further down. But up ahead, on the right side wall, you notice a button, like a doorbell, in the brick and stone wall, next to a pastel blue front door of a home. Doesn't look like this door belongs here.
I can't imagine it does.
What was that?
All I said was that I can't imagine it does.
Further back from where you have come, for you have been walking now for 3-4 minutes, echoing down that long hallway, you hear...
Oh no.
the sound of a lightning strike.
Oh no.
And the air begins to fill with static electricity. You can go further down into the tunnels. If you would like to keep doing so, you'll need to find a way to navigate, maybe roll some dice. You can go back where you came from and investigate what that thunderclap was. You could take a look at this door, perhaps. What would you like to do?
Is that question posed to all of us or just one person?
To everyone, I think.
This door definitely does not belong around here, and the officer will investigate the door.
It is a relatively modern hardwood door, painted a pale pastel blue. There is a little sort of like gold marker on the front of it where one might put a number, but there is no number. When you look at that marker, it just kind of looks like a little bit of a shimmering, almost watery surface. You can't quite tell whether it's supposed to be a number or a letter or really anything.
Is there a door handle or doorknob?
There is. There is a lever-style door handle on the front, right next to the doorbell.
Joseph's gonna knock on the door.
Oh.
Politely.
Oh no. Why?
Knock, knock, who's there?
You bring your knuckles up. It doesn't echo. It's dull, almost. And on the third knock...
No.
Inside, there is a hallway. Maybe 10 meters long or so. It's got carpet that looks like it was taken from like a 1980s bowling alley. Little swirls of stars and galaxies. Weirdly shaped kind of triangles and square patterns. And along each of the walls, there are what appear to be portraits, large portraits painted of people, ostensibly. And standing about 5 steps in, with their arms crossed, a tall,
Nope.
lanky figure.
Nope. Nope.
Long, curly blonde hair, seeming to go on for ages, spiraling down past her hips. A jagged and angular smile that curls up around her eyes. Bright yellow, long eyelashes, and her fingers. Too long, far too long, too many joints pointed at the edges. She's wearing vertical stripes in neon green and pastel pink. And she gives a wide smile. Well, it looks like somebody needs a door. And I just happen to have one. Alex, this feels familiar. You must have heard about this somewhere. Surely you've read a statement or listened to a recording.
There are
You
so many
must know.
supplementals.
Officer
Joseph, how-
Quick, you recognize that voice. On a case that you had to do some time ago that involved clearing out what people claimed was a haunted house. You just kept hearing laughing around corners, but when you went to look around the corner, of course, there was nothing. There wasn't even more hallway. The corner simply ended, but that laugh kept echoing. You walked around that house for an hour, going up and down the stairs on this single-story house. Aster, you and Luna have no idea what the heck is going on. The woman inside unfolds her arms and reaches out with one long, impossible hand. You don't want to get caught by, well, something that big, do you? You need a door. I promise I won't keep you that long.
Would it feel long to us as well?
Time is so difficult, my little archival assistant. After all, the ability to recognize time requires a degree of selfhood that I could never attain. But no, maybe only a few minutes. Maybe.
Supposed to reassure us?
Joseph is putting himself in between this hand and their charges. No way, Jose.
Luna, your camera, the second that you point it at this woman, goes instantly haywire.
Oh no, it costed
The
me so much money. I need it. What am I gonna do?
it seems like there's some kind of interference, maybe. The little display seems to be like spinning and swirling and turning into static and snow and trying to reform and trying to refocus, but finding nothing to focus on.
Uh-huh. All right. I'm just I'm just gonna look at the camera and try to touch some buttons and see if there's a way to fix it or to. And while doing this, I'm turning it around and it's not pointing specifically at the person.
As soon as the door, the hallway, and that person are not in frame, it seems to work perfectly.
Okay, I'm just gonna turn to the other and be like, maybe we should not. It's you know, as a rule of, I keep for myself. If the camera is not working, it is not somewhere I want to go. Yeah. So, shall we like abort?
The impossible lady crosses her arms and makes a pouting face. Well, you're no fun at all. And here I thought we might be able to collaborate. But it looks like I'll just pick a different partner. And the door slams shut.
Ah!
Of course, there was never a door there. I mean, you saw it, but it wasn't there. It's not there now, at any point.
Down, more or drink less.
The air around you shakes and vibrates as those thunderclaps keep getting closer and louder. You think that you've got maybe a minute or so before whatever it is on top of you. You can choose to go up a set of stairs or down a set of stairs, or you can go straight forward. If you go up, the environment seems to be slightly more dry, slightly warmer. If you go forward, there are a bunch of chalk markings in various, like age, that indicate there might be an exit that way. And if you go down, there is the smell of salt water. Where would you like to go?
I mean, we are underground. Let's go up. Let's go out.
We just came back from going out, but at least it's warm up there as opposed to cold. Way I see it, I am not feeling very comfortable with risking a drowning. So it's either we go up or we go down, or we follow the chalk marks. Mighty quick then.
I'm with quick. I would rather either go up, where it seems drier, or forward, where civilization seems to may exist. One of the two.
I hate to stay longer in these tunnels than we have to. If we could follow the chalk markings, we can come out into another area of the Institute, I'm sure.
And with that, it seems that the vote is to go with the chalk markings. The four of you break out into a run. You can feel the crackling of electricity starting to permeate the air around you. Your metal like objects begin to hum. The camera begins to shake almost in your hand, Luna, and when you look back behind you with it, you catch a glimpse through the oncoming dark storm cloud-like fog of a human shape. But following the chalk marks, you twist left and go up and then twist right again, and then finally the tunnel terminates at a ladder. And at the top of the ladder is a wooden door that pushes open easily. Oh, thank God. You couldn't spend another moment in those tunnels, Alexander. You are so pale. I'd like everyone to roll me a d4 to see how well we can escape.
No.
We are rolling dynamite.
Oh, nice job, Master.
Whoa.
Yippee.
Well,
Influencer survive.
Officer Quick, in trying to make sure that those who are with you are safe, you are keeping them ahead of you. And it slows you down a little bit, obviously. Having others around is always a little bit more difficult. Probably be easier if they weren't around. Probably be easier if you left them all to die. No, of course not. That's ridiculous. You would never leave everyone else to die. And when you close your eyes and shake your head for just a moment to clear that thought, you trip over a metal pipe laying on the ground. Clang, 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 clang. And you onto the ground. Just as this happens, Alexander, you look back and you see the police officer trip and fall and face plant. And the ground seems to reach up around them. It looks like these tendrils, these fingers of earth, are reaching up to try to take them. But of course it's not there. You're walking on cement. It can't be earth. And when you shake your head, you clear that thought, and you turn back and clang! You knock your head on a metal pipe that sticks out of the wall. Luna, you grab the ladder, stow your camera on the lanyard around your neck that you have specifically for it, and clatter up, pushing that door open and spilling out into a fancy-looking office. Aster, who do you save?
Who do I
Do you
save?
reach out and grab Alexander? Or do you grab Officer Quick? You have an axe in one hand. You can only grab one of them.
If I drop the axe, could I grab both of them?
You might be able to get them both up.
With the right roll. Hmm.
You cannot
Hmm.
leave them down here. You can't leave someone behind.
I'd like
It
to
just
try
doesn't
and save
sit
them
right with
both.
you. Then you'll have to sacrifice your darling axe, Mr. Sterling. Go ahead and roll a d4 for me to see if you can quickly enough get them both back up to their feet.
All right. Let's see.
Ah, a mixed success. You see them both fall. You look back at the ladder. It's a short ladder. It's not even that long. Cross gets eaten by the darkness. Cross gets spit out by the darkness.
The darkness cannot claim Cross.
You
This keeps trying.
You throw the axe down and seize the both of them, hurling upwards, and you wrench them both back up to their feet. And then when you turn, you grab the ladder and scamper up as well. But you could not pick the axe up. Officer Quick and Alexander, you both manage to scramble up the ladder and slam the wooden door shut behind you. You find yourselves in a very fancy, very well-kept, if perhaps just slightly dusty, office. An executive office. Elias Bouchard's office. Elias Bouchard, the head of the Magnus Institute. The one who pulls all the strings. And this room is quiet.
Oh?
A telephone, old style, rings on the desk. It looks like Elias hasn't updated his decor since 1920. The telephone rings again.
We should probably pick that up.
Huh? No?
Joseph is very... Oh, sorry. You first, Howie.
Sorry. You don't pick up phones when you're running away from ghosts. I mean, it's in every ghost movie. You don't stop for the weird ringing phone. Okay. No, we are not touching it.
Joseph is going to be very thankful to Aster for picking them both back up. But
Yeah.
then they're also going to look at the phone, and then they're going to look. They realize this must be someone important in this institute's office. So they're going to look towards Alex and be like, "Go pick it up, son. That's your boss. This is your boss's room, right?"
I think Alexander is going to look at you with a look of such deep resentment, and then go pick it up.
Don't look at me like that. It's not my boss.
Excellent. Alex, you walk over to the fancy, polished black wood telephone. And when you pick it up, the ringing stops. You put it up to your ear, and you hear a voice that you have heard on a recording before. Well now, it seems someone's gotten into the nice, fancy office. And you recognize the voice immediately. The voice of Simon Fairchild.
Yeah.
And that is where we will take our next 5-minute break. Let's take ourselves another 5-minute break, everybody. We will get drinks, go to the bathroom, do all the stuff that you need to do, and we will be back in 5 minutes for what should be the last portion of our one-shot. Let's see how it goes.
Pick up your kid!
Oh, boy. Excellent. Yeah, okay, so we'll be back in 5 minutes, everybody. Here we go. Go for it.
All right, guys, let's not get back to it, shall we? Please stop. No.
Welcome back, everybody. Oh boy, it's been such a good little break there, listening to my players talk about the trauma that is currently happening. Wonderful, wonderful. How are you four doing? Are we doing okay, everyone?
I'm having such a good time.
I've had
Yeah,
at least two
that you
glasses of Skimmer-Subs.
you take the words out of my mouth. I'm having such a great time. It's so fun and so great.
Miss Aoi was lying.
Oh, really?
Wait, what? Huh?
Well, then, I hope everyone in the classroom was able to do their break stuff as well. Let's get back into it. The telephone begins to growl with static. It is a shame, really. I was hoping to find your archivist here, but, well, there's no sense in wasting a good incursion. We'll just make sure that there's nothing left when he gets back, and he can wander the endless halls of his own prison forever. A toodaloo. Click.
Alexander just stares at the phone, hangs up.
All four of you were able to hear this.
Oh, great.
Now,
Gosh
Simon
darn
Fairchild is a name that is somewhat recognizable to those who have been in the archives looking for evidence of things before. That name has shown up in quite a few places. The Fairchild family is somewhat influential in quite a few different social spheres. Simon Fairchild himself, of course, shows up in 2 or 3 rather striking stories about falling forever, or being stranded in the sky, or simply being lost. And it makes sense now that you start putting the pieces together. Of course, it would be the vast. They may have friends. After all, the vast is wide and endless, and the stranger is twisting and elusive. Helen from downstairs, the long-fingered distortion, might not have been working in tandem to begin with. But who knows now? And, well, one could so easily get lost in the dark. Maybe it's a concerted effort this time. You stand in Elias Bouchard, the head of the Magnus Institute's office. There is a cardboard box full of tape recorders and tapes in one corner. Everything else is largely untouched. There is a desk drawer that seems to have been broken open and is now currently empty. And there is a set of heavy brass keys hanging on a little hook on the side of the desk that has the big fancy chair. Alex, you recognize these keys as being those that can get you into artifact storage, if you needed to. the temperature rapidly begins to drop once more. And the door into this fancy office begins to rattle. From underneath, the thick, billowing storm cloud like... Darn it, I wish that phone would stop. The thick, billowing storm cloud-like fog begins to fill the room and sits at about shin height, bubbling across the floor like writhing, painful-looking boils. And the door slams open with a gust of static electricity-filled wind. All of the hair on your body stands on end, and standing in the center of the doorway is a figure. Crackling blue-white lightning wreathed around the tall, elongated shape. Indistinct features. A constantly changing outline. Well, well, well. Looks like I've found you. Perhaps that will be the end of it. And you will be lost. And with each word, the roll of thunder permeates the air. He raises an arm. What are the four of you doing?
Joseph is not going to know what this thing is. Their first instinct is going to be to shoot it.
You draw your pistol and fire. You want to go ahead and make a firearms roll for me? You've got a thing that would make you good at that, don't you?
I do.
Your ability Gun Nut, is that what we called it? Yes.
Mhm.
Your ability Gun Nut belies the sheer number of hours in and out of uniform that you have spent at the shooting range. Why don't you pull that trigger and roll twice and take the higher die for me?
Pog. Okay. That's one roll. Are you kidding me right now?
We roll doubles. Excellent.
Wow. Wait,
Your handgun leaps to your hand. You sight over the top of it and pull the trigger. And almost like the thunder you heard down in the tunnels, the gunshot rings through everyone's ears in this sort of confined space. And you see the figure kind of stumble back a half step, look down, and then look back up. It seems that while you may have hit it, it didn't do much. Maybe you hit it in the wrong place, or maybe your aim was off, or maybe it just doesn't like guns. That is Officer Joseph's movement.
Mm-hmm.
Aster, Alexander, Luna, what would you like to do?
I would like to kind of panic say, would you like to make a statement? And I pull out my tape recorder, the one that I've been carrying around since the beginning.
Alexander Poe. How dare you? You, on this, the day of... You are an Institute employee, I suppose.
You said I've been taking statements.
You have indeed been taking statements. Wow. You know what? You got to roll for it. Give me a roll, but because you are one of the statement takers, you got to do it with advantage.
Wait,
How dare you? I cannot.
Well,
did I do that wrong or did I do that correct? I'm not sure.
No, you
I
have
think
two
the
of
first
them,
one
yeah.
was-
We will take the 3 and not the 1.
Okay.
This entity stops. And there is a moment of pause before it tilts its head. Why not? After all, it won't take long for you all to become lost. And your archivist will revel in the recording and wallow in the suffering of having lost yet more. Your tape recorder is running, and during that time, you have this entity's complete attention. But you have to say the correct words to start it. Don't you, Alexander?
Yeah. Um. uh. Steve. I'm so nervous. Statement of Andrew McCarney. Taken direct from subject. August 2016. Statement begins.
And it's almost like it takes a breath. And the features begin to solidify. Luna, when you point your camera at it, now you see the shape of a man wearing a cheap blue suit, a white crisp shirt with like a black striped tie underneath. A pair of glasses rests low on his nose. His hair, dark brown, is swept back in a style imitating someone who might have watched some of those fancy Wall Street movies. Seems like he was trying to look more impressive than he actually was. He begins to speak. I've always been fascinated by the weather. The power of a storm, the majesty of a clear blue sky stretching endlessly. There's something humbling about realizing how small we are in the grand scheme of things. I've spent years chasing that feeling, documenting every cyclone, every lightning strike, every whisper of the wind that spoke of something greater. As he is speaking, Luna, Officer Quick, Aster, what are you 3 doing?
Since I'm seeing like a real person-ish on the camera, I kind of have my spirit back into my body somehow. I mean, like, oh, okay, that's a real person. I mean, a real ghost, but I mean, I can work with that. So I just come closer to the person. I forgot the name, and point my camera at them and be like, okay, I'll be filming the statement too. I mean, it's important to show the world, you know. Everyone needs to know what's going on here. and I want to help. So let's do this. And then I look at him with the cutest smile I can do and be like, yeah, I'm gonna help you.
Amazing. You've got a thing that is specifically for this, too, don't you, Miss Luna?
Yeah.
Would you kindly roll us 2d4s and take the better of it to see if you can charm your way into this gentleman?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I am not getting killed by his eyes, I guess. I hope. Well, we'll see.
Pardon me. Well, when you get a little closer, you point the camera up and he sort of looks down at you and his outline shifts just a little bit. And you feel the static electricity begin to kind of hum in your body. But you are getting some excellent footage. And for a moment, your mind flashes to the YouTube channel. If you can get this onto YouTube, oh man, are you gonna ever get some attention? You are currently not helping.
Yay.
Officer Quick, Aster.
You first, Aster.
Seeing the figure, I mean, I'm assuming the figure got close to us, right?
Yeah, he's sort of standing maybe 3 or 4 steps away from Alexander's tape recorder.
I'd like to from afar, investigate him if I can see if I can find anything unusual that I can use to my advantage, or any weak spot, if at all possible.
Ah, yes, studying your subject. You also happen to have a thing that makes you specifically good at this, don't you, Aster?
Maybe.
You want to roll for your investigation at advantage, please? We will take the higher of them and give you that 3. While he is talking, it seems like his body is solid. But when he looks away from the tape recorder, when he looked down at Luna, he started to shimmer a little bit. It seems that when his focus is on the tape recorder, on the statement, he's actually there. And you can see him. And that might be something important. He continues. It started as a hobby, and then briefly a career, but it became an obsession. There was one storm in particular that I couldn't forget. It was early October 2007. Off the coast of Cornwall, the weather reports had predicted a mild squall, but what I found was something else entirely. The sky opened up in ways I'd never seen, clouds twisting and morphing, defying all meteorological logic. And in the center of it, I felt nothing. The presence of nothing. That's when I heard the voice. It wasn't really a sound, more like a thought that wasn't my own, whispering in my mind. It spoke of infinite skies, endless sea. It promised me understanding, power, and all I had to do was let go. Let go of my small human fears and embrace the boundless. Go on, Aster.
I would like to, while his attention's away from us, I would like to tell Quick what I noticed. And hopefully, because I'm also carrying a bag of tools, I have a small hunting knife inside that bag. Not hunting knife, just a small dagger inside it.
Would
would
you
like
kindly roll for luck on that one? You do have that tool, so you can roll twice and take the higher. Wowzers. Really
Wow.
rolling dynamite here, aren't we?
Double.
God. Wow.
Well,
Your bag does not have the small knife that you thought you had, but what it does have is a novelty corkscrew.
It's still dangerous.
it's so dangerous. Yeah, I could use pictures of
Useful
this.
for worms, but
Oh, worm.
Okay, regardless of what I found from my bag, I still tell Quick about what I noticed and hope that he still has bullets to fire.
So
Yeah,
Quick,
Officer Quick, you've only fired once. You still have a mostly full magazine.
Officer Quick is going to be taking advantage of the exposition so that the big bad is so generously giving us to reposition themselves in a position, or reposition themselves such that they are both covering the other three, but are going to have a harder time missing. And they are getting kind of trigger happy, so they are tempted to shoot again while he is clearly in corporeal form.
Do you want to see if you can resist that temptation?
Yeah,
Officer
let's
Quick,
see who we-
I think things have gotten a little weird for you recently. This last hour and a half or so has been confusing. A little too confusing. Why don't you go ahead and roll to see if you can control your urge and roll your fear die for your secondary fear.
Oh my goodness. Alright, here we go. Yes!
Well, excellent. You are able to control that urge, but give me one more for your secondary fear.
This is
All
not a critical
right.
failure.
And it's certainly not a critical failure. No one has had a critical failure with the fear die yet, which is nice.
Incredibly nice, yes.
There have been too many freaking weird things that have told you things that are not true, that have showed you things that are not real. You're getting a little on edge. You are a little shaken, but you're able to hold it together. And thank the stars for that. Because you sure do still have quite a few bullets in that gun. But no, you can tell who's who. You remember who you're trying to protect. Luna, Aster, Alexander. What are the three of you doing?
Do I have a corkscrew in my hand?
You've got it in your hand, held like a punching dagger.
Well,
Pog.
Can I grip it as if it's like a brass knuckle, despite going through middle of my hand?
Ah, yes, excellent. You've got it wrapped up in your fist, like a bad Wolverine.
One claw. Let's go. I like to Well, I'm watching quick to see what he's planning to do. When he plans to shoot, that's when I plan to go for my attack too.
Excellent. Luna, Alexander.
I mean, I feel like I'm trying to keep his attention on making the statement, and so I'm not trying to make any sudden moves or anything like that. I'm just holding out the tape recorder, letting him talk, and just maybe my eyes are like flickering towards the keys and the tapes, but uh but you know, I'm just staying where I am, being very still, very uh trying to keep his attention on this.
Alexander, the battery-powered electronic recorder that you have in your hand is positively buzzing with electricity. And with every word he says, it gets a little stronger. Would you kindly see if you can control the muscles in your hand well enough to not drop the recorder from all of that electricity?
Yeah,
Wow.
sure. Oh goodness. A 2.
Well, it's not the worst. It is so difficult for you to keep a hold that you have to force yourself to set the recorder down on the corner of the desk. And in doing so, there's a little flicker in his form, and he is one step closer.
Uh-oh.
His focus may be toward the recorder, but his eyes are locked on yours. Luna, what are you up to?
So I notice his movement, and I decide that now is a good time to actually turn on the light of my camera again. I feel like, we could see better with it if it was working. So maybe I could have like a very good shoot of him, and so I try to turn it on and then zoom onto his face so that we can see the details if possible.
Interesting. And perhaps that will work in your favor, Miss Luna. In focusing the camera on this man's face, you are giving him definition. And something about that seems to be, well, it's not something that he rather enjoys. He would much rather you get lost, not that you keep track. In focusing your camera, the electricity begins to shake your hand as well. But your like and subscribe gives you the focus necessary to have been through this kind of filming before. Roll your 2d4s and take the higher to see if you can keep control of your camera.
Woo! I got a 4.
Not only do you keep control of it,
Based.
but something about your focus on his face seems to stop him in place and almost lock his body up. And he doesn't notice. He continues. I don't remember much after that. The storm swallowed me whole, and I felt myself dissolve into it, becoming one with the wind and the lightning. When I woke, I was changed. I could see the vastness everywhere, feel it pulsing through my veins. The fog, the disorientation, it all made sense now. I was part of something greater, something infinite. Every storm at sea is just the vast. Now I walk the streets of London and I see the people scurrying about, unaware of how small they are. I want to show them, make them feel the awe and terror of the boundless. It's not about fear for its own sake. It's about revelation. About understanding our place in the cosmos. I am the Stormbringer, and through me, they will see the vast. And you see him try to raise his arm, but it does not move. Suddenly, he breaks eye contact with you, Alex, looks down at the tape recorder, and you hear him say, "Oh no."
Oh, yes.
You gonna take your shots?
Immediately, yes.
Yep.
You are in a perfect position to fire this gun. Go ahead and roll twice for it and take the higher of the rolls.
Here we go. Yes.
Ooh boy, that natural 4. The trigger pulls and the thunderous boom of the gunshot rips through the silence. Just as this is happening, Aster, you were ready to strike. And you're in a perfect position for it. Roll twice, take the higher. Ah, yes. Your fist drives forward and you feel the pressure of something against the tip of your corkscrew, and then as it pierces into nothing it must be. It does not give the kind of resistance that you would expect something like a human to give. But you pierce into this thing's neck just as the bullet rips through the side of its head, and the eyes glow for a moment, an intense, lightning bright blue, as his whole body suddenly shatters like glass. And there is silence. The fog on the ground begins to dissipate. Outside, through the window, you can see the streets of London nearby. And you weren't able to see them a moment ago. It seems that the storm clouds are clearing. Alexander Poe, you push the stop button on your recorder. And when you look down at your hand, you see something new. Something you didn't notice before. But on the crease of your wrist, where your arm begins to be hand, you see a tiny black mark in the shape of an eye.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Aster, you look down at your hand with the corkscrew still in it.
Oh no.
And when you look back at the shattered remains of what looks to be sea glass on the floor, you let the corkscrew tumble out of your fingers. And for a moment, it almost feels like what he was saying might make sense.
Well.
Maybe you are just so small. Officer Quick, the gun smoking in your hand, you look at the other three in the room, and for a moment, you aren't sure if you recognize them. But you feel yourself and the training you have done begin to put the gun back into the holster. And when your finger leaves the gun, that wash of relief clears your head. You will not let anyone else meet the same end. That memory is too painful. You won't do it twice. And Luna, when you stop recording, it's like a wave of relief. It's finished. You will be able to show everyone. And you'll have to spend hours going through all the comments on your video. People talking to you. They know you are there. After all, when you've got fans like you've got, you're never truly alone. You don't have to be lonely. You just make another video. Each of you has been touched by the vast and by the eye. But fortunately, only one of you has been claimed.
Dun dun dun.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else, those who have the good sense to be done with that entire set of classifications, is the end of Face Your Fears. It seems you've won. For now. The archives are safe. You've survived. Surely nothing bad ever will happen again.
And don't forget to subscribe.
The epilogue of this episode is, it like zooms out and the whole thing has been the YouTube video on Luna's channel, and it like pops up with like a cute little like PNG drawing of Luna doing a peace sign. It's like and subscribe. But
And ring that bell. I can't believe Joseph gets to join the lucrative and exclusive membership of the people who did not die. They are the 20%.
Oh, this was really good, you guys. I'm very pleased with it. I hope that you also had as good of a time as I did. How was it for everyone? Are we all doing okay?
I had such a good time.
This is one of your best ones yet, in my opinion.
Oh, I'm very glad. I am super pleased with it. Ms. Aoi, I know that you're not a horror type, but you survived it, didn't you?
Yeah, I survived. I think that's the correct word. I survived. But honestly, I think putting apart that it was horror and I was scared and it was hard. You were very good at this one. It was where like you doing the game mastering was amazing.
Yeah, I'm pleased to have done it. And hey, Soul, now that this is your first time having played at a table here in Teme Velt, do you think I might be able to convince you to come back again?
This is fun. This is very fun. You definitely. I mean, I definitely won't mind coming back.
Wonderful. There's a possibility that perhaps sometime in the future, you four may run into some more interesting entities here at the Magnus Institute in London. After all, no one died.
Yeah. No one died
Yeah, no
except
one.
my soul and my brain and everything that makes me me, I guess.
Everyone's-
A couple places you didn't end up going were artifact storage, where some things might have been.
Yeah.
Out onto the streets close to the archive. Out into the streets further out into London.
Ooh.
Or the courtyard of the Magnus Institute. Plenty of places you could have gone, but you managed to not only survive, but succeed in stopping the Vast and its allies from destroying basically everything. Now, whether Helen
That's
will
the
remember
power
or
of
not.
YouTubing, guys. That's the power of the YouTubers. That's what I'm saying. Without the YouTuber, it wouldn't have worked.
I never should have doubted it.
Yeah.
Luna's over here like sharpening the edge of her gold gold play button, being like, anyone comes near me, I'll cut him with the power of YouTube.
I don't remember the last time a cop was both good at shooting and also had the restraint to not shoot unless necessary.
Yeah, I mean, to be completely honest, when I saw that you were playing a police officer, Lulz, I was like, this is going to be an abnormal police officer.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was thinking when I was like, what if they were a police officer? This is the absolute last thing that they would ever be, ever, in their life.
But you managed to not only protect everyone, but keep them all alive. And crucially, nobody got thrown into the endless void. Which is a thing that was very much going to happen if it weren't for Cross over here being so bloody clever.
Cross
I mean, of
used
course.
distraction.
Of course, I had a statement prepared. But how dare you actually get it from me?
Clever, very clever.
And the characters move during the exposition.
You
That
know?
never happens.
Yeah, you had control of your character during the cutscenes. Hey, Miss Aoi, what are you doing next, and where can we find you?
Oh, I'm probably gonna stream someday once Heatwave is over and this penguin's not melting anymore. Yeah. Beside that, I'll be uploading a few cover songs soon, in theory, if
Ooh,
everything goes well.
excellent.
Yeah.
Have you revealed what the songs are yet, or shall we wait in surprise?
Oh, wait. I can give some hints. One is gonna be very summer, mermaid, and the
Ooh.
other one is gonna be very dark, and a bit. I mean, it goes kind of with what we did today, but very much less scary. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing those. Wonderful. Hey, Lulz, what about you? What are you doing next, and where can we find you?
I can be found at twitch.tv/lulztime. This was a pretty nasty week, but I've gone back into the habit of streaming 3 times a week. We're gonna try and finish Sulaco, the indie FPS game Sulaco on Monday, and I kind of want to make femboys and fighting games a thing again on Fridays. So we're gonna keep doing that. I'm not sure about continuing Cyberpunk on Wednesday or not. It's just kind of a chore to play, even with the latest update. So it's like, maybe, whatever. And yeah, that's pretty much what I got going on at the moment.
All right, excellent. Well, I will look forward to what were we calling it? Femboy Fighting Game Fridays, was it?
Femboys and fighting games Fridays.
There it
I
is.
suppose.
I love this idea so much. Oh, excellent. All right. Hey, Starry Soul, what are you doing next, and where can we find you?
Oh, you can find me at starrysoul_. Normally I would stream on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays with karaoke on Saturday, but for the next 2 weeks I'll be kind of busy. But if I do stream, it'll be on those days. I usually do games and a bit of karaoke, mostly Souls-like.
A lot of karaoke.
A lot of karaoke.
A lot of karaoke.
I like singing.
We dig it. All right, well, excellent. I look forward to coming and bothering you in your streams as well. And finally, hey, Cross, do you have anything to tell us?
Listen. Okay. So, well, to answer the first question that you've been asking everyone else, you can find me at Crossplaner Cleric on both Twitch and Tumblr. And as for when I'm going to have my debut stream on August 13th. It's a Tuesday, and it's going to be at 6:30 Central Daylight Time. That's UTC -5. It won't be when I typically stream, but that's my debut.
August
congratulations.
13.
Ooh.
Let's go. I am
Write that date down.
so excited for you, Cross.
Thank you.
Oh,
Based.
very good. Oh, very good. And of course, I am Cosmo Bergamot. Everywhere where I have an account, it's all just Cosmo Bergamot. I'm probably going to end up deleting my Twitter at some point because, boy, is that place a disaster. But until I do, you can find me there on Tumblr, here on Twitch. Yeah, the next thing that I will probably do is next Saturday when I am doing a secret project that you will have to be there to know anything about.
What do you mean you
Alright.
didn't talk about it to me? I'm jealous someone else knows and not me. You have to tell me now.
Oh, nobody
Tell me, what is
here
it?
knows. Nobody here knows, Miss
but
Aoi.
I want to know. I want to know. Tell me.
I
Nobody
wanna
knows each other,
know.
you see.
Can you show me?
What's this song I had in my brain, but in French? Oh my gosh.
If I phrase it as a question, can I compel you to tell me?
That depends, Cross. How deep into the Watcher are you? But no, I'll be posting about it on my Discord, which you can find in the chat if you just go !Discord. Yeah, excellent. Wonderful then. Thank you everyone so much for coming and doing the hangout and everything. Do we have any suggestions for whom we might go and do a raid on?
Let me see who's alive.
Let's see if I've got anyone on my list as well.
I have a few people that
I have
are-
someone
might
playing
be
Elden Ring.
I have someone
Mhm.
playing Project Zomboid as well.
Elden Ring is a Souls-like, and Soul, you play Souls-like, so that's at least a link there.
It is in the name.
Okay, yeah. Why don't we do the Souls-like one then? Would you be so kind as to post the username in the chat, please?
I did it on Discord, but I can do it on the chat if you like.
I can take it from Discord right here.
Bear.
Fizzy Bear, excellent. So we're gonna go /raid Fizzy Bear.
I'm sure, Soul, you saw that name before because this person does instrumental version of a lot of cartoon songs.
You know, that
Then
I do I
Yeah.
do have a recollection of this. Yeah, excellent.
Well, that's them.
All right, well,
That's-
excellent then.
that's
Let's go and
why.
say hello. What are they doing right now? Which one was it? Dark Souls or was it Elden Ring?
Elden Ring.
Ring.
Let's make a raid
Elden
message like
Rings.
this. The professor's students have come to pursue the old man ring.
Old
That's
man
kind of
ring.
dumb. Pursue the ring. That will be fine. And then we do the other raid thing that looks like this. Here is our raid message, everybody. Wonderful. Okay, I am appreciative of all four of you for coming and spending your time here being traumatized. I hope to continue to be able to traumatize you now and again. I hope I hope everyone in
Always
the
a pleasure.
classroom had a good time watching as well. The VOD for this will be up on YouTube later tonight. Don't forget to do your homework, everybody. Bye-bye.
Wait.